Hello, thank you for clicking on this video. Before we get started, I just wanted to announce that I do have all of these Halloween prompts available as prints in my Etsy shop. That link will be below. And I wanted to thank my favorite people in the whole world, my patrons. Thank you so much. Love you big. All right, let's get started. So I started recording again, so go ahead and make some noises.
Testing, we're testing everything with a little song. Boop, boop.
Hold on. Again, just the burping only happens when it's it's an intro
Right
thing
before recording. Right before recording. Always a terrifying thing to hear.
Oh, not for me. See, here's the thing. I'm very self-absorbed. I like my own voice a lot.
I'm the most self-absorbed person on the planet. Don't worry, but I love this sound of my own voice.
I'm sorry. We've got good voices. Everybody's just gonna have to deal with that.
Yeah,
They're gonna have to contain their jealousy. Hello, welcome back to the Spider Layer, or welcome for the first time if you're new here. Thank you so much for clicking on this video if you're new. Oh my gosh, I'm like so freaking flattered. On this channel, if you don't know, we like to take a prompt and make a character based off the prompts. And I don't know about you, but I am not ready for Halloween to be over. So we are gonna take it one more round for the 35th of Halloween and do one more spooky prompt. This time we've got Owl Witch, and of course I had to bring on my very special guest, Owl. Say hello.
Hello.
He is the one for whom we draw the witches, or I don't know. What I like to do also on this channel is when I introduce my guest, we say our pronouns. So mine are they, them, and what are yours?
And mine are he and him.
Oh, let's go. Excellent.
Basic. Let's go.
Basic. Yeah, you're like diet gender.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like the spicy, flavorful type.
Exactly, the good way.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, this isn't. Here's the interesting thing. I haven't seen what your final looks like. I've sent my final to you, so you know what mine looks like. I have not seen this yet, so this is exciting.
So this is like actual real time reaction from you.
Yeah, this is a real time reaction. Okay, so what is going on? Okay, they're wearing a cape? Question mark. I gotta say your line work is a lot cleaner than mine.
Thank you.
This is a spoiler for mine. I painted mine twice because the first one I just screwed up too much, and I was like, I cannot deal with this. I'm just gonna repaint the entire thing, and a huge part of that was just me not doing line work and just hopping into painting. So I should probably have done line work. But this looks really good. I freaking love the like tassels on the end of the cape. It actually looks really efficient for the like there's the line patterning in the tassels themselves is really good.
Thank you. Yeah, the line work is a huge part of the final for me. Like what I like to look at is things with heavy line work. And but I don't do that thing where you do cross hatching or like I don't shade with line work, but I do like to imply.
Yeah, you do the
volume and texture.
That French style of like fine line or whatever it's called, the Tintin style, whoever that guy was. You essentially just do fine line work on the outside and then you shade on the inside. A lot of time not even shading.
Yeah, if I could find a way to like make my stuff look great without having to go through this like shading or rendering process, I would do it, but I have not figured it out. So for now, I just sort of shade in the way one might paint. It's kind of like lazy painting. Like it's sort of half painting.
Yeah, you do mainly like cell shady type stuff, but then with some if you have your like line work, the transition period between like okay, I have my flats, I have my line work, I have like my basic like cell shading stuff. It looks great.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, so now I gotta paint this.
Right.
But then there's always this like weird phase in between where you have all of these like hard elements from your painting or from your like setup process, but none of your stuff is actually like soft blended in. So as soon as you add any form of like soft blending, is so high contrast,
right?
In terms of just like material, like edge controlling, it's like it's rough, but
yeah.
it's looking great so far. I am digging it. What was the inspiration for this?
I just had a lot of ideation phase, and this was the only sketch I had that I thought had a good design to it. So really I kind of went owl silhouette first and then tried to, it was like a puzzle to figure out how to fit a figure in the owl silhouette.
Yeah, the cape is a great like design decision. I like it.
And yeah, I tried to not have any feathers in there except for on the, well, like obviously on the staff.
I mean,
but I tried to do minimal like feathers so that it was, I don't know, more of a challenge to make it evoke owls.
Yeah, not as easy of like a cop out and just be like, I mean, yeah, it's obviously an owl. It's a giant feathery cape.
Yeah, and sure. I almost drew like a wing type pattern on the cape, but I kind of wanted to just more evoke wing without it being literal, because I struggle with depicting things like literally. So I wanted to mess with that. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to shade line work in a way that, you know, where it's still like the line work heavy part, because I don't want to take that out. And I feel like I've got my like 1 foot in like inking and then like 1 foot in painting, and I don't quite I haven't like completely submerged in from one to the other, but exactly. Eventually I'll figure it out. It's a learning process, but I like the results. I like the way this one turned out. I think it works well for some of my stuff for sure. Just kind of slowly figuring it out. Yeah, I like this lighting concept too. I try to do like exciting lighting, and I do like it better when I have a lot of hard shadows. But I found that when I just have a hard shadow, it I don't know, it looks weird, like to just do like that hard, because it's all hard lined and it looks strange to me. But I don't know, like Stravek makes it work really well. I just gotta tap into his brain, figure out what he's doing.
It is it's difficult to do the like pure black. I feel like I've done some recent project with it recently. I feel like I'm starting to feel confident, but like it's hard. It is so hard. I remember trying to do it like a year ago. I failed so miserably. It's difficult for sure. But yeah, it can look so good. Like like Hades type stuff is like, oh, I love it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to look into, specifically other artists who have a line style and how they're coloring it and still retaining like the joy and the beauty of their line work and everything. And like something that helps is coloring the line work, which I usually do. Like it always has some kind of gradient or some kind of painting on top of it. And then sometimes you can completely phase a line out by like adding a highlight. There's just
True.
I'm just gonna keep trying. I think somebody who does it really well is the very worst thing. The very worst thing. Yeah. They don't have a lot of.
Don't think I've heard of them before, but
yeah, I can send you something and I can link them below.
Oh yeah.
But for sure. Yeah, that's where that's like the level I'd like to achieve. Who is this evoking? Is this like a Mobius-esque, maybe? I don't know. Like, maybe I accidentally was channeling that.
Maybe.
Like,
you're channeling someone. You got possessed by some dead artist.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to get possessed by any dead artist, I would hope mine would be Mobius. You know, I want to say that maybe he does do hats like that. Because I was trying to... You asked me, like, where I got inspiration for this, and I was like, I don't know. Like, I just sort of went. I just sort of like, it was weird. My pupils dilated. I just started,
exactly.
And the spirit was just leading my hand.
Yeah, exactly. This wispy thing just circling around. I don't know what that was about. I mean, I had my summoning circle in the other room, but that can't be related.
I don't think.
I checked the spells 4 times over. I checked the spells 4 times over. There's no way that was affecting it at all. No. At all.
Yeah. So let's get into that. Tell us about how you're a warlock. How'd you get started?
Oh, I'm a warlock?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be a warlock to become an artist.
That's actually like, I'm not joking. That's true. Art is
that's true. Like this entire thing about like studying perspective, anatomy, it's all a bunch of like
Throw it
wishful.
out.
Like get out of here.
Yeah, those are
You
fake
have
news.
you have to study your spells,
Yeah.
your enchanting runes, and you might have to sell your soul for like, or at least like a share in it, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a timeshare situation between a couple of different things, like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Here's my sketching process. Yeah, I was just I had no idea what I wanted to do for the
I
for
love
the
watching
prompt.
you
So
sketch. Like
so I'm just like I'm throwing down like the most generic ideas I can think of. First was just like a lady with an owl on her shoulder, and she's looking at it, and I really wanted to focus on like the feeling of like them as like a pairing kind of a thing. Like they're like like it's like a person and their pet.
Yeah.
And they're cute and interacting together. So this is the one I ended up going with because like it just felt like adorable to me, with like her like hiding something between her like under her hands, and then the owl like strutting around being like, "Whoa, what's under here?" kind of thing.
Like they're playing a little game.
Yeah, exactly. At this stage, I really enjoyed the piece. And I think if I just continued refining it, like for this owl, for the owl, I did pretty defined like line work. Like most of the stuff is like defined for the owl. And I think if I had done that more, especially with the face, because the face is the main like issue I ran into painting.
Yeah.
Because I drew the hat before I actually drew the head and the face. Which ended up meaning that I didn't have any real reference for like where the skull was, like how do I actually do this? So when I ended up going in and painting it, I wanted to have like this really like soft, like cute expression kind of a thing. But that just didn't happen because like I didn't like it was so difficult drawing like an expression which I usually don't really draw, which is like this like soft like cutesy expression is not really what I'm
very tilted. Like
and then super tilted down, and then like it's a nightmare trying to find expressions for like people with like tilted down heads, but then also like really cute too. Like it's not but then I also didn't like really look for that much reference. So at this stage I'm still happy with it. I'm still like, okay, nice, we're painting. I think at this point I was just here I felt like pretty comfortable. I'm just exploring shapes. Looking at this now, maybe I should have kept the really round hat. I kind of dig it. But yeah, you see here me like repainting the face. Like, oh, how many times did I do? I think I repainted the face like probably 5 times. And it took me repainting literally the entire piece for me to end up being somewhat happy with it.
This mirrors my trying to draw a gigantic hat on my scarecrow person. And like it's hard because it's like not only is it usually going to block any light from their face, which you have counteracted very intelligently by making the light source coming from inside of the hat, which we'll kind of see later. That is one way to circumvent that problem, and you can have somebody wearing a big witch hat without their face being obscured. And then also, you know, it's like, so now the owl witch and the scarecrow both these big hats, and there's just a lot of geometry to. I think I spent most of the sketch phase just like putting basic shapes to show where the hat is pointing from on top of the head. I had to literally draw like a sphere on top of the head, but like more skull shaped, you know, and then like find the apex on the top, and then I put like a line coming straight out from the head so I could see what way the hat would be tilted, just because there's not, like you said, a lot of reference for it, and you just run into many problems. I think you and me were talking about if you're designing like a character for a game, and you design this great character, this huge witch hat, and then the game is from kind of a top-down view, and you never see the character's face. It's like, witch hats are challenging, I guess, is my point.
With that said, I think for this piece, because you mentioned here, like, oh, the format, the hat here actually just does not connect to the head at all.
No, it's floating far above the head.
It's like floating a good like half a foot above her head.
Yeah,
which is kind of funny. But and that's just a common thing you see in a lot of like these like
Her hair could be really stacked
hats.
underneath. Also, it looks like later liquid is coming from the hat, so maybe it's just a bunch of gelled liquid. Like
I ended up. So what I did to counteract that later is actually I ended up tipping the hat like inwards.
Yes.
So currently, like essentially, I just took like the edges, like it remained the same, but then I just like compressed the entire like center column like downwards, so it actually was on top of her skull.
Yeah, it makes more sense if it's more flattened, which is what I did with the two witch hats I've drawn so far. As I was like, that brim has to be thin, like paper thin almost. Well, not maybe not that extreme, but like very, 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 very flat. If it's gonna make any sense.
Yeah. Here you see me repainting the face for probably the third time. I think it's like at this stage I was just so frustrated with it because I wanted this like really cute expression, and just nothing worked when I did it. Like when I just kept repainting because like as like I didn't. You even saw me there like quickly like draw like paint in the skull on top.
Yeah.
But since it's like such a late like addition, like everything was like kind of off. And here you're trying to see like here you're seeing me like trying to save it by like shifting the entire pose because like I just didn't want to redraw the head for like a fourth time or whatever. So I was like, Jesus, please! I'm just gonna tilt the entire body so she's looking at him, and so I don't have to redraw the head because the neck was like messed up. And then here I'm just messing with the skin color. So it was like I had painted the head and and here you see me going like nope, just screw it. Literally none of it like. And the thing is, I think the previous painting, I think you have the timestamp, but I think that took like maybe 5 hours, give or take. And then I think all of the rest, like from this point and to the rest was like 2.5 hours, was I think.
Oh, if it's not going quickly, like I start over like every single time. I'm like I don't do this. I don't like trying. Like okay, maybe in the past, but yeah, I'm just if it's just not flowing and it's not going, I'm like, you know what? It's never too late. I'm gonna do the Tom Waits thing and walk away and start all over again. Like I'm so ready to abandon my art at any point. Like I do not get too. I use this phrase too much, but I don't get too married to anything. Like
I think that's actually a really healthy thing. I just not being able to just walk away from it. Normally, I do a lot more sketching and I stay in the sketching phase longer. I just wanted to see what would happen if I hopped into painting it more quickly, because sometimes I do that for like environment pieces and stuff like that. I just generally don't do it for characters often.
Environments are a little more forgiving because they're kind of more organic usually, or either they're organic or super structured to where everything's kind of laid out for you. So, I love it.
This I've talked with a friend about this recently, and she called it sneezing. Essentially, you just put down a whole bunch of random colors, as if you just sneezed out a bunch of random colors onto the character, and it helps just like bring some sense of like a bit of color variance without actually having to paint in the color variance. It's just a very quick way of doing it.
It's the Marco Bucci way.
Yeah, pretty much. There's just like a bunch of random colors. But yeah, I said like the painting that actually ended up happening took like probably like half the time, if not less. The one that I ended up liking, which that's the way.
In the last video, Matt spent maybe like 5 hours recording his first iteration, and then there was a technical difficulty and it didn't record like the second half. I included the footage anyway just because it looks so nice. The part that did record correctly. So that one, you know, everybody will have known by now. Spoiler alert, has 3 matte drawings in it. But his final though, like his the one we show at the beginning, like next to mine, is took him like 2 hours, and it's incredible. It looks 3D, looks like it's about to walk off the computer screen. It's just incredible. And it's just, he does it with like a hard round and like a and like some lasso tool and airbrush, and I'm like, dude, screw you. Whatever. Everybody comes on my channel and flexes on me, including you.
I mean, that's the entire point, right? Like, wait, this wasn't Flex on Spider the show? I'm sorry.
Yeah, my guests are taking over. Where can people follow you on social media to see more about it?
I mean, if they want to see me post once every 4 months,
Yes.
they can follow me on Instagram.com/polyowls.
Excellent. And then I can link anything else below if you want to link like your ArtStation or something. And I'll have all my links down there too. This was fun. Hope to have you on again sometime.
It was great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then usually at this point, I just like to tell everyone goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.